Who says you have to be born with superpower strength or be mutated with bionic abilities to kick ass? We can be superheroes in real life in our own way. Hi. This is your Asian drama consultant and I'm back for my 8 girl power K-dramas. The 245th K-drama that I've seen, which was released last mid-June, was Good Casting 2020. This K-drama inspired me to break the weaker sex perspective on women and to finally put to rest the meaning of the better half. Just to be clear, that's us girls. If you want to know why I chose the following K-dramas to represent girl power roles, please like and subscribe to my channel, and continue watching to find out the girl power lesson each role teaches us, and discover yourselves in these roles, because I believe that one of these characters is just like you. So girls out there, I hope you find which girl power you have from these superwomen, because this list is especially for you. She Was Pretty 2015 is a romantic comedy starring Wang Jung-eum and Park Seo-joon. Wang Jung-eum, having grown to be in the shadow of her mom's beauty, didn't mind losing her most beautiful girl in school status until she needs to meet a childhood sweetheart, who used to be chubby but has become an accomplished handsome guy played by Park Seo-joon. With her optimistic ways and hard work, she finally lands a writing job for a famous publication company. But things get complicated when she was assigned to write for the publication company's fashion magazine, which, aside from being superficially beauty-driven, she will also have Park Seo-joon as her boss. By embracing herself and her own beauty, she then realizes that she is worthy of love and gives herself a chance to love back. And upon realizing her worth, she finds her dream job and gets support from her loved ones. In the end, she finds out that Park Seo-joon has been longing to meet her to show her what he had accomplished because of her. My girl power lesson number 1 is we should love ourselves. As long as you love yourself, only you can measure your worth. And no one can tell you otherwise. The story in Search, WWW 2019 is about modern women who occupy top positions in big companies who compromise their relationships to maintain their status at work. The lead roles here are played by 3 female top executives of the 2 top competing web portal companies, Unicorn and Barrow. Due to her mentor and boss at Unicorn, Im Soo-young started questioning her decisions and her role in the company when she was thrown under the bus in the midst of a company scandal. Due to the power struggle of the women executives at Unicorn and her virtues in doing responsible web search analytics, she transfers to Barrow, the other competing web company, to put it at the number 1 spot and show her boss that it can be achieved without outside political intervention. Meanwhile, Lee Da-hee, the top executive in Barrow, opposes the new hire because of their long-term rivalry and differences in management style. The clash between the 2 female leads who were forced to work together in one department eventually leads them to learning from each other and in the end gaining everything they thought they lost while focusing in their careers. My girl power lesson number 2 is that we should believe in ourselves, that we can have it all. Only you can determine what you want in life. If you want it, take it, it's yours. Don't Dare to Dream 2016 is a romantic comedy about a weather girl whose original aspirations of becoming a news anchor have been paved with all possible hardships, humiliation, and abuse. The weather girl, played by Gong Yoo-jin, is a striving big sister who works hard for her younger brother first and to achieve her dream second. She has been putting up with and is just thankful to have a job until her crush 3 years ago returns to the station. Torn between 2 best friends, Go Jeong-pyo, a well-mannered heir to a high-end clothing brand, and Jo Jung-suk, her old crush who returns only to torment her, she shows loyalty as she chooses Jo Jung-suk, who was diagnosed with breast cancer. And though she herself faced risks of inheriting cancer from her mom who died for the same reason, she became the source of encouragement and hope for Jo Jung-suk, as she not only accompanied him for his treatments, but also took care of him. This, to my opinion, is a good love story dynamic. My girl power lesson number 3 is that we are strong in heart and spirit. We can share the burden and give encouragement and hope to others even though we have our own problems. Live 2018 is a K-drama about a strongly opinionated and passionate woman, played by Jung Yumi, who despite being a college graduate from a known university, struggles to find a permanent job as a result of the deeply flawed society's perception on women in the workplace and the politics behind hiring employees as influenced by wealth and connections. With no prospects of employment, she comes across a poster for the recruitment of police officers where she believes that she has a chance at securing a full-time job and also getting promoted because it is based on the exam scores. She had a clear idea how to pass the qualifying exam but didn't know what to expect in training. But her will and perseverance got her through the toughest times, and proved that women can go shoulder to shoulder alongside men, even in a male-dominated profession. Another female role here is played by Bae Jong-ok who, despite being a top-ranking detective, faces discrimination among top-ranking male officers while juggling with being a good mother and devoted wife to another police officer. My girl power lesson number 4 is that we can defy gender roles. Women can also excel in a male-dominated profession. Upon receiving her diagnosis that she only has 6 months to live, a woman in her early 40s played by Choi Ji-woo in the comedy entitled Second Twenties 2015 changes her life when she realizes that she has never lived for herself. Wondering how she can still have a good life in her remaining days, she recalls the time when her life was abruptly changed by her early pregnancy. Having only raised her son half of her life, she realizes that her dream of going to college is number 1 on her bucket list. So her original plan of going to college to reverse her divorce with her scholarly husband became her last chance at a short but good life. But in between coping with technology and university culture, her dream of a good life is turned upside down as she discovers that aside from needing to avoid her son in campus, it turns out that her husband got a job there as well. In her adventures as a freshman in college, she discovers what she had missed, her passion for dance and learning and the high school friend who never got over her. My girl power lesson number 5 is we should live our own lives. We should not live in the shadows of our partners or children. As women, we owe it to ourselves to find what makes us happy and not live our lives through other people's expectations of us. Ms. Hammurabi 2018 is about a rookie female judge, played by Go Era, whose past experience as a victim of sexual harassment shaped her as a person. In her fight to do what's right, she is joined in chamber by my favorite non-romantic actor Sung Dong-il as the stern and wise presiding judge, and L, a rational and collected associate senior judge with whom Go Era will gradually form a romantic attachment, but with a lot of resistance and constant negotiation. Highly energetic and compassionate, she takes on cases inside and outside courts with misplaced candor and zeal that ultimately causes an institution of long-standing values to be shaken up. Her quest to make a change and uphold justice takes a bit out of her each time she leaves her emotions out whenever she wears the robe. She then eventually gets hold of her emotions as she manages to compose herself and not show it on her face but see things through her heart and not only through her mind. My girl power lesson number 6 is we should not be afraid to stand up and fight for what is right. We should not allow the injustices we suffered prevent us from correcting injustices committed against others. Forced to move into a small town to leave her past behind, a single mother played by Gong Yo-jin becomes the perfect target for gossip and bullying in the K-drama entitled When the Camellia Blooms 2019. Having been abandoned at a young age, she grew up as an orphan who carried with her the stigma of being unlucky that reflects on her personality. And as if being a single mother in a small town is not enough to give cause for rumors, she opens up and manages the only bar in town she named Camellia, where the men in town frequent, much to the disappointment of town wives. Life is not too dismal to her though, with an 8-year-old son who constantly defends her and a bestie who's also a single mother and is the big woman in town. Her life for 6 years in town became mostly about making ends meet to support her son and fighting off townspeople who constantly question her ways until she meets Kang Ha-nul, a lucky striker police who falls in love with her at first sight. Slowly he brings out the fighter in her that only makes him love her all the more. With her past relationship coming back to add conflict comes along the darkness that followed her from 5 years ago. And as danger starts to zero in on her, the women in this small town come together to protect her and her son, proving in the end that they'd be there for her when she needs help. My girl power lesson number 7 is that choosing to be a single mother is a strength and never a weakness. Becoming a single mother is being a hero in itself. Never allow other people's opinion of you stop you from making ends meet for your child, especially when through a legitimate way. Good Casting 2020 is about 3 women secret agents who, underneath their disguise and double lives, are just typical women going through the same typical worries. This K-drama proves that being a kick-ass girl is not just about firing that gun or kung fu fighting, but is mostly about going through the daily grind. Kim Ji-young's character here is a secret agent turned insurance agent who is a master negotiator for the domestic security for 24 years but has already mellowed down and is now raising a teenage daughter with her husband. Yoon Young is an IT expert who has been a support agent for 4 years working with field agents in missions especially in need of tactical escape and safety though lacks field experience herself. And Choi Kong-hee, the team leader of the top industry security team, who is known for being the best agent out there, but is also known to be the craziest. By combining their skills and specializations, they infiltrate a company to gather information on a nuclear device that could bring about destruction in a global scale and secure it lest it falls on the wrong hands. And while in this mission, these women deal with their personal lives, from catching and teaching bullies a lesson and then doing a karaoke session, doing a rescue and being rescued on a rescue mission, accepting a proposal after finding justice for a husband killed in action, and letting out frustration in an arcade because of hard missions and failed relationships. Together, these 3 characters, though with their own strengths and weaknesses, complement each other that make them a hard team to beat. Good Casting 2020 is a K-drama that stands for the beauty, determination, dependability, perseverance, individuality, just and nurturing spirit in women. And for my girl power lesson number 8 is that women should always have each other's back. Because no matter how hard life is, no matter how heavy the burden on your shoulder becomes, when women are there for each other, it just gets easier. This has been my 8 girl power K-dramas. I hope you were able to find which girl power you have and appreciate yourself more. If you want to see more of my recommendations on what Asian dramas and movies to watch, old and new, that are worthy of your time, please watch my other videos and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and happy watching.